Green. Okay, so we are super close to being done with geometry. We are in chapter 11, and we only have one section left of chapter 11. So super duper uber close to being done. Let me pull this up here. And the last section, part of it is really easy. Part of it, sorry, I'm just trying to get my screen right here. Part of it is super easy. Part of it is something new, but not too difficult. So the part that is super easy is that we're going to talk about the area of a circle. Okay, so I actually left these filled in on your notes, so you don't even have to fill them in. But the area of a circle is pi times the radius squared. So we did talk about circumference on Monday. So just a reminder, the circumference of a circle is when you actually go around the outside of the circle. So if you're thinking about walking around the outside of the circle, and the formula for the circumference is actually 2 times pi times r. So you double the radius and multiply by pi, or the diameter times pi. The area of the circle, you have to take the radius and square it and then multiply by pi. Okay, so important thing to know. Yep. Probably have all seen it before, but good to know. Okay, so for example, if we wanted to do number 1A, okay, find the indicated measure. They tell you to find the area, and they tell you by the diagram that the radius is 4.2. So the area is going to be pi times radius squared. We know that the radius is 4.2, so it's going to be pi times 4.2 squared. Okay, and then if you plug that into your calculator, you're going to get, and I've been bad about this is meters. So you're actually going to get 55.4 meters squared. Okay, pretty easy. All right, B, they want you to find the diameter and they give you the area of the circle. So they tell you that the area of the circle is 201 inches squared. Okay, and we know that the area of a circle is also pi times radius squared. So if we set those equal to each other, we have 201 equals pi times radius squared. If you look at this, you might think, that really doesn't, it looks like I'd have too many variables, but remember pi is a number, so we could divide both sides by pi, okay? And we do that, we get 63.98 equals radius squared, okay? And then if we want to figure out what the radius is, right, we actually take the square root of both sides, and we find that the radius is almost exactly 8. Okay, approximately 8. 64, the square root of 64 is 8, so we're pretty darn close. Okay, so if the radius is 8, then that means that the diameter is going to be double the radius, which is 16. Okay, I think that's pretty easy. You guys can definitely do those problems. Okay. The second concept is the new concept that comes in from algebra. Okay, and this is the area of a sector. And so this is actually probably going to look, trying to zoom in here. There we go. I left the formula on your page, so you don't even have to fill it in. Or maybe not. I don't know. My notes don't have it filled in, so maybe you have to fill it in. Maybe I just left it on my screen. The area of a sector. So again, this is going to look a whole lot like the area of, or the length of an arc formula. So this is a ratio that they figured out how to find the area of just a certain part of a circle. So say this is a pizza and you wanted to find the area of just the gray sliced part of your pizza. How would we do that? Okay, very important work here, right? So if we want to find the area of my grayed out part, they're saying that we take the arc of sector APB. So take the arc of sector APB and divide that by pi r squared. So that's basically the, yeah, I'm actually, hold on a second. Yeah, I think that there's actually a typo on this notes. So we're going to pull this over here. We're going to fix the typo. So this actually should say area. Because the arc is the one that we just did. Somebody made a typo. Area. Okay, and you can see they have it right down here. Okay, so the area of sector APB, that makes a lot more sense. So we are, that's what we're trying to find, right? The area of the grade section divided by the area of the whole circle equals the measure of arc AB divided by the measure of the entire circle, which is 360 degrees. So if this formula feels familiar, it's true because we also can say that if you go back to 11.4, your paper right there, right? You can also say that the arc length, so we have all these ratios. You can also say that the arc length, right, over 2 pi r. So this ratio has to do with the circumference. This ratio has to do with the area. And this ratio has to do with the arcs. And they all are kind of equal to each other and can be used in the same way. So if it looks familiar, this one is from 11.4, which we talked about on Monday. This is today. We're talking about the area. And yeah, so it's from there. All right, so let's use that ratio, the theorem, the relationship, to figure out what is the area of this gray section here. So you want this slice of pizza, you want to know how much area is on your pizza. I don't know, because that's fun, right? Okay, so what do we know? Well, we know that because inside our circle, RQS forms an angle of 63 degrees, that means that the measure of arc RS is also 63 degrees, right? From our circle, all of our circle knowledge, right? You guys just took a test on that. We also know, if you look at the picture, that the radius is 5. It's kind of hidden on your picture, but it's right down here. QS is labeled as 5. So then if we look at our formula, we can find the area of our pizza slice by filling in the blanks of this formula. So the area of RQS equals, I'm going to make my screen bigger here. This way. It equals the measure of my arc, which is 63 degrees, divided by 360 degrees, times pi times the radius squared. Okay, so if I plug all those in, the area is 13.74. Okay, now what if I wanted you to find the area of the not pizza part, of the unpizza part, the rest of the circle? Well, there's actually 2 ways you could do it. Okay. One is I could find the area of the whole circle and then subtract out the pizza part. So the area of the whole circle is pi times the radius squared times 5 squared. And I subtract out my pizza part, which is 13.75. 474, sorry. And when I do that, the whole area of my whole pizza is 25 times pi. It's 78.53 minus 13.74. And so the area left over is about 64.8. Okay. I also could, so that's one method to find the area of the blue part. I also could use my same formula, right, and talk about the arc that is RPS. So if RS is 63, RPS is 297. So if I use that same formula, the area of the bigger part, is going to be my bigger arc, 297 degrees, divided by 360 degrees, times pi times radius squared. And if you do that, you also end up with 64.80. Okay. So that is all I have for today. If you'd like to see another example, I'm happy to do it. If you feel like you're ready to try your homework, it's like choose your own adventure. If you want to see more examples, turn to page B. If you want to try your homework, go ahead and get started. I think you guys should have enough information to get started. If you have questions, bring them to class on Monday. We'll have some activities to do in class, but basically I just need your any assignment you haven't turned in yet and your chapter 11 homework on Monday, and we should be good to go. So thanks, ladies, for coming to the last class today. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you on Monday.